I'm hoping this angle that I'm photographing at is okay. I've now made up a colour for the middle of the flower, and just check some of this is still slightly wet, but we'll go on anyway. This is cadmium yellow with burnt umber in and a touch, and I do mean a touch, of ultramarine. Now this is going to make some of the darker tones. It will look a little bit harsh to start with. We will be putting some brighter yellow in. If it's too dark like that, just dab your brush out and spread it a little bit, and it will lighten, and it gives you a neutral. So for these, the mid-tone will be the thing that gives you the colour. Be very careful with yellow. You can end up with the headlights. So just be very, very careful. You can see I completed this second flower, and I can do this partly dry brush. You can, I had the terrible feeling once it started that maybe we'd done this picture before. So if we have, and if you have, you can always find a nice picture of a daffodil yourself to use the technique for. Again, just be gentle. I'll just do one flower. This one's got some dark near the top. There's just a little bit of light on its leading edge where it's tipping towards us. And again, I can slightly dry brush if I want downwards. So that's using the brush sideways. I can define edges between things with this. So even though that when you mix this, it will look very brown and mucky, when you actually use it on, because it's a neutral, and with the flowers, particularly with yellow, you've got your lightest tone, which is very pale, so that's a neutral, and your darkest tone, which is quite brown, and that's a neutral. And then we'll put some brighter yellow in to make the flower shine. I have just run out of colour. So I'll finish up this flower, and I'll come back to that after. I'm going to do a little bit more work on the bottom area with some sap green with cobalt in. Yeah, I'm just trying to mix up a bit more quite quickly. Got a little bit too much cobalt in this, and again, you can do this more detailed. I'm going to do it quite fast so I can put some lines in. I can do some dry brush work. Don't want it too defined. There are some flower areas in here. They've got a little bit lost. I'm not too worried about that. It's just an impression. You can do it in more detail if you want. I'm just doing it quickly because the main thing really is emphasising how to keep everything very pale. So again, this is going to help to define the bottom edge of the flowers, and I can come back to this area after. I'm going to make this edge darker to make that light edge stand out. In the actual photo, these stems are very dark, but I've chosen to make the chief ones paler. And you, with watercolour, well, with most painting, they say paint what you see. With watercolour, you don't paint what you see, you keep a lot paler. So I've kind of darkened up a bit, and you can begin to feel the picture beginning to come into focus, making sure I maintain the light areas. I hope there's not too much light on this, but just trying to do this best